Had a little listen to his podcast, huh?
Dude, it's educational. And besides, I've been wanting to listen to this one.
Welcome to Idling in the Impala, a podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the fan fiction it inspires. Before we begin, just want to remind you to follow us wherever you listen so you don't miss any episodes or bonus content. If you love what we do and want an easy way to show your support, please consider leaving us a positive that's all the stars rating on your favorite listening platform. It helps SPN and fanfic lovers find us and share in the fun. I'm Sandra.
I'm Kasey, and there's a ton of other ways to be part of our supernatural road trip. From joining our Discord to fueling up the Impala with a Ko-fi donation or membership, check out this episode's description or idlinginttheimpala.com. Alrighty, in the back end of 2025, Sandra interviewed a whole bunch of fandom peeps and got a great collection of con stories, and we are sharing them with you. So if you want to see exactly who is in this video, or episode rather, depending on where you're listening, check the description. But these are all amazing stories from amazing fans who took the time to come and speak to Sandra at the back end of 2025. So sit back, enjoy. Maybe you'll be inspired to go to a con yourself. And if you have, and you didn't speak to Sandra about your con, let us know. We want to hear your con stories,
I want to
guys.
do more of these. Kasey and I have been talking about this. We want to try to find a way to either bring back people who've already chatted with us. Maybe we didn't get to their con stories, or maybe you're a little hesitant about coming on to talk to us about, like, say, I don't know.
I won't be there if you come and talk to Sandra for con stories. So nobody panic. I'm not allowed to be there.
Yeah, there is actually reasoning behind that.
You can't sugarcoat that. You definitely said to me, I was like, I just think it will be better if you're not there, babe, because I need this in a time crunch.
Because we are trying to do them in like a certain amount of time, and we know who we are as people. And if you get us together with a person, chances are the conversation is going to go long.
Go on for hours.
So we're trying to make
Sandra
them...
is the more gentle of the pair of us. You come and talk to Sandra about your con story, and then you get the excitement of knowing that I don't know what's going to happen, and I have to wait and listen along with everyone else.
Mm-hmm. And then you get to be in one of these episodes, and maybe then you're like, hey, I might want to come back and talk to you about more stuff. And we're like, sure, consider an introductory if you've wanted to chat with us, but you don't know what you want to chat about. Maybe you've gone to a con. Maybe you want to share a story. Contact us through all of the ways that you can find in the description. But yes, sit back, relax, and enjoy all of the wonderful supernatural encounters that some of our listeners have had and get to share with you.
Yes. See you next week, guys.
Bye. Hi, Jen.
Can you hear me?
Ken.
Okay, sorry, I'm in a bathroom in the ICU.
Oh my gosh, is everything? Oh my goodness, are you okay?
My son got very sick 2 weeks ago.
Oh no.
And we've only progressed from bad to worse. So.
Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry.
Thank you. So this is actually a little reprieve for me, so I apologize about the acoustics. It's not that great in here.
No, my God. I mean, are you sure you still want to do this?
Yes, I do, because
okay.
It gives me something else to focus on.
Okay. All right. Oh, I'm sending you all of the good things. My goodness, I can only imagine, especially, oh God. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for coming. I appreciate you taking the time. I was kind of wanting to touch base with everybody just to kind of talk about some fun con stories and share them with our listeners. And I can't really remember if the last time we spoke with your interview, I don't even think we maybe even touched on any con stories. I really can't remember.
I don't think we did.
Yeah. So I'm actually I think this will be brand new for me.
Yeah.
So I was looking forward to chatting with you today. I guess since I know you've been around for a while in the fandom too, I'm assuming you've got a lot of con experience, but maybe not. So when and where was your first supernatural related convention?
So my first supernatural convention was 20 of 23.
Oh, okay. So recent. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I knew that they were going on, but I didn't know where they were going on. And they are expensive.
They are very expensive. Yes.
So I had to actually beg to be able to go. And even then, my husband was like, no, we are not going. And if you go, don't bother coming back home. And I was like,
no, he didn't. Did he put the gauntlet down like that?
He did put the gauntlet down.
Oh,
and
my
then
goodness.
I begged and begged. And then it was Thanksgiving of 2022 when he finally said, go ahead, we can go.
Okay.
So we ended up going to the first con. It was in New Jersey.
Okay.
And unfortunately, Jared had canceled. But thankfully, I had met Jared that same month at a completely different Comic-Con.
Okay.
So that was really cool because I have to say, meeting them at a different con that's not a creation con, they're so much freer.
Mm-hmm.
There's time restraints, but there's not as many time restraints. It's not like you go through the photo op, you go through the autograph op within 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a different experience seeing him at one con and then having the whole Creation Comic-Con experience. Totally different.
Right. Because I'm assuming was the convention you did go to that had a lot of different people, was that bigger?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a huge multi Comic-Con. It had everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It was insane the amount of people that we met. They had a lot of Supernatural people there. They also had Walker people there.
Okay.
They had tons of different people to meet at that con. And again, it was, like I said, it was such a different experience.
Yeah. So you were at was it the East Brunswick one when Jared canceled?
Was it? I think it was Whipping, New Jersey.
Whippany, New Jersey, or something.
Yeah.
Jared canceled because he'd gotten into the accident, right?
I believe so.
Okay, I was at that convention too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was, I think maybe that might have been my second one at that point. So when you went to Creation, like, once you got the go ahead from hubby, did you go all out and get gold, or did you do silver? Or like which passes did you do?
We did 2 silver for me and my daughter, and then we did bronze for my husband and our son. Because there was no way that I was doing this by myself.
Oh my goodness. It was a family affair.
Yes.
Were they all, I'm assuming maybe hubby wasn't too enthused because of price, but were the kids enthused about going? Did they understand your Supernatural love and join in on that with you?
Yes, because my daughter loves Supernatural. She had watched it.
Mm-hmm.
She had gotten to meet Jared. And then for that one, when he canceled, they actually had Jeffrey Dean come in.
Okay, this might be a different one then, because I don't think Jeffrey Dean was at the one that I was at. So, okay, we're square now. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to meet different people. I finally got to meet Jensen. That was an awesome experience.
Uh-huh.
And normally, they whip you right through it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was me, Jensen, and our son, who is special needs.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very great with our son.
Nice.
They moved us, the ADA. I wasn't expecting that. Because again, I had never gone to a Creation Comic-Con before, so I didn't know what they would do.
Yeah.
So they moved us ahead of the line, and they walked us in to meet Jensen. And of course, I'm deer in the headlights because I'm like, oh my God, I'm finally meeting Jensen. And he was so sweet. He really was. We did our pose for the photo, and then I was expecting just to be, moved right along. And he stood there with me with his arm still around me, just rubbing my back and giving me a few moments to center myself. And all I could think to myself was, I know that he has a special needs.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of his nephews is special needs.
Right.
And all I could think to myself was that he got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, just as a parent too, like I'm sure like he would get it on so many levels too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a great experience. We got to meet, we took a picture with Cliff because Cliff walked us out.
Okay.
And he was really nice. Like everybody was great. Getting to see, all the different people that I never thought I would get to see or meet was fantastic. And then fast forward, so that was my first actual Creation Comic-Con, and then I went to another one a year later with my friend, and that was just another great experience because it was just me on my own in the wild.
Yeah, it is different, right? Because I've done that too, where I've gone with my husband, and like I've said, my husband is like, he's a great wingman for conventions because he's very outgoing and he's willing to like do the things, but it's something to go on your own and then hang out with fans that get it on a totally different level and just Oh yeah, tell me about that one. Tell me how that one went.
My friend, she's a sweet person. She was doing her own thing and I did my own thing. We got to meet, let's see, like I said, a ton of different people. So my daughter was so excited she had made Dean's List, and I was talking to her on the phone, and I was walking towards DJ's table.
Okay.
And I just looked at him. There was nobody around him. It was just him and his handler. And I just said, my daughter loves you, and she just made Dean's List. And he took the phone from me and started talking to her. And it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. And it had just come out that he had just gotten engaged to Ty. So it was another level of awesomeness because I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
And then, we were there, I had my photo ops. And they're so quick, and I know they have so many people.
Yeah.
But when I walked in, Jared was there. And when I walked in to meet Jared, he just looked at me and he like, "Hey, darling, how are you? It's good to see you." And it was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Total fangirl.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
So, a great big hug. And then we took our photo, and then, I was off. And then the same thing in a way when we went to do the autographs, he stopped to talk to me. He was like, "How are you? It's good to see you. Are you enjoying yourself? Did you have a great experience at the con?" And I was like, "I had a wonderful time. Thank you so much." He's definitely a different person than Jensen. I'm going to say very reserved at times. You could tell when he was like, it's sometimes too much for him. And I think that goes for everybody. I think everybody gets overloaded. I know I do. At some points, I'm just like, oh my God, everybody just back away from me for a few minutes and just give me space.
Yeah.
But he was very sweet. And then during that particular Comic-Con, somebody from New Hampshire, where I'm from, stood up and was talking and asking him questions, and they were trying to remember what New Hampshire is referred to, and it's the Granite State.
Okay.
And Jensen was like, "What is it? What is it?" And we're all screaming granite at him. And he's finally the guy on the microphone actually says, "We're the Granite State." And he was like, "Oh, okay, got it." So this past year, I went to the Boston Comic-Con.
Okay.
And I have an artist friend who did this wonderful rendition of Batman. It's not Jensen, but it's just Batman. And I know that he loves Batman. So I got a copy of it, and I had my friend autograph it, dedicated to him. And then when I was out and about in my travels, I stopped at a place where you can do pressed pennies.
Okay.
I pressed one for Jared with a moose.
Did they have a squirrel for Jensen?
No, they did not have a squirrel,
Aw.
but they had one that had the old man in the mountain, the granite state.
Okay.
I pressed it for Jensen.
That way he'll never forget that.
So this past Comic-Con, again, it was me and my family. Unfortunately, my daughter couldn't go because it was right before graduation. So my best friend stepped in.
Okay.
And we had a fantastic time.
Nice.
This time around, I had made a sign up about our son explaining that he was legally blind and nonverbal, and to please speak softly to him when speaking to him because he scares easily.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you that made the entire world of difference. I had his name on it. Every time they saw us, they walked over to him, addressed him by his name, spoke softly to him. At one point, we were waiting to do the J2 photos, and Jensen and Jared walked by, and they both stopped to talk to him.
Oh,
It was just a wonderful experience. It made it feel like it was our own Comic-Con. And it was the stars doing it themselves. Nobody had asked them to do that.
yeah.
So every time Jody or Brienne or any of them walked by, hey,
Right.
Dakota, how are you? How you doing? It was fantastic. It was like we were seen. And it wasn't just like we were just one out of 1,000 people.
Right.
And they were just so fantastic. Every time we went in for a photo op, everybody knew it was us because the music either was turned down or turned off.
Oh, wow.
At one point, we were getting our photos done with Jared, and he turned to Chris, and he made the sign, like, his hand under his chin, and he was like, "Chris, cut the music," because he remembered, and it was just wonderful. We did the photo op, and every time we would go up to somebody, I would explain to my son, this is so and so, this is Jensen, this is Jared, this is Mark. Everybody, and they were just wonderful. And when Mark Shepard came in to do the photo ops, he actually walked over to us, and I showed him the sign. And he was so sweet, talking to us. And I said to our son, this is Mark. We're going to be taking our photo with him in a little while. And he turned right around and he put his hand on my son's shoulder, and he looked at my son and he said, "I cannot wait to take a picture with you."
Oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah, like, they're great people, and we already knew this. We know how much they care about their fans.
Yeah.
But-
I think you forget sometimes when it becomes this big machine
Exactly.
that they're a part of also as well, and like things have to happen. But when they become human again, they're human in front of you, and they connect with you on such a very lovely level.
Yes. So when we went to have our autographs, I presented Jared with a pair of, it's going to sound corny, a pair of bird socks. They have the bird feet that go all the way up to your knees. And I just saw them one day, and I was like, oh my God, he has to have those socks. So he saw them, and he started to laugh. And then I told him, I flipped it over and I said, "And here is a pressed penny from New Hampshire, where we're from, and it's a moose." And he burst out laughing.
Nice.
And then, he wanted to know how Dakota was doing and how we were doing. Did we have a great time? He was like, "Is there anything that, I can do for you?" And I was like, "You guys made it wonderful." It was just a wonderful experience.
That's so nice.
And then when we went to go have our autograph with Jensen, I had the piece of art for him. And on the back of it, where it had been autographed, I slipped the pressed penny in there. And, he asked me, how did your son do? And I said, he's done. He's overloaded. And he looked at me, he's like, "I understand because I feel the exact same way." He's like, "I am so done." Because you figure it's a lot. They're they're in the spotlight the entire time that they're there.
Yeah, yeah. I think for them, I think the one thing that I appreciate is that they understand it's a job and they try to do it to the best of their ability within whatever they've got going on. But then
100.
I think it's another thing for fans to have to understand that as well. Sometimes I don't think that comes across for some fans.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to remember, like, both ends, they're human too. And, they might not have had the best day. You can't expect them to be as on as maybe like you're wanting back feedback wise. Like you got to meet people where they're at, kind of a thing, or else you're probably going to be disappointed in some way, shape, or form. Then did he see the penny?
So I gave him the art, and I said, I know it's, I told my friend who's an artist how much you love Batman, that you voiced Batman, and I said, I asked him to, dedicate this to you. So I flipped it onto the back, and he was very excited about the artwork.
Yeah.
And then I flipped it onto the back, and I said, and last year, when I was in New Jersey, we were all yelling at you, the Granite State, because you couldn't understand what we were trying to tell you, that New Hampshire is the Granite State. So I pressed a penny from the Granite State for you, and he burst out laughing.
Oh, goodness. Oh, Jen, that sounds, I mean, you give so much back too to them. That's so sweet. That's so sweet to do those things for them.
And at first, at first I was like, oh, do I even want to do any of this? Is it going to even mean anything to them in the scope of things? Because, hey, you think they're actors, they have money, they can buy whatever they want for themselves. And I know that other people gave gifts to them.
Yeah.
But these were personalized, as far as I'm concerned, by me and my family. And whether or not they meant anything to anybody else, they meant it to us.
Right.
And they, I could see appreciation in their eyes. It was just a wonderful experience.
Have you gotten a chance to meet any fellow fans that maybe you've met online and then connected?
I have.
Okay.
I have met a couple. Of them, and we've connected, and some of us have hung out, a couple of us got some drinks, so it's been nice. This person, Amy Pond, 45, we met in real life a couple of times.
Nice.
It's nice when you can have that human contact with another person that shares your same enthusiasm over a show.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who else? Who else did you get to meet?
Oh, I'm trying to think. There's been so many different people that I've gotten to meet, over the course of doing this. Digital Meow.
Okay.
I met her a couple of years back, and we had drinks, and actually I hang out with her every once in a while. The same thing with Amy Pond.
Nice.
When she's not busy. Because we all live our own lives to begin with. We all have families and careers and all of this other stuff going on. So when we're able to get together, we try to get together. And it's nice because it takes you out of the everyday reality, and you get to just sit.
Absolutely.
Chill and, talk about your experiences, and sometimes talk about our writing.
Yeah.
And even still talk about our families. I know about their families. They know about mine. And then also, I like I said, I brought my best friend. She's not into Supernatural, but she enjoyed herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
you got to see all the crazy for herself. Yeah. Yeah.
And then funny enough, for the upcoming Boston Comic-Con coming next year, I gifted her and her nephew, because her nephew was big into the show too.
Okay.
For Christmas, we surprised him with a Sunday ticket.
Oh, nice.
To the Comic-Con. So he is all excited. We, got some of the autographs for him. We did a whole Christmas thing with where he had to guess clues, and one of the items that he got was back in November, some of the Supernatural people were at the same Comic-Con that I had originally met Jared at.
Mm-hmm.
And Misha was there.
Okay.
And she asked Misha if he would personalize it, and he did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, her nephew's name, I'll see you in June. And at first we didn't know what it was, what that was all about.
Mm-hmm.
And then last month I had gone to another Comic-Con where Julian, the actor who plays Death, was there. And I had met him previously, and I got one for my friend's nephew, and it said his name, I'll be seeing you.
Okay.
And of course, as dark humor as that is, he totally was into it. He was like, absolutely, I'll sign that. So he got a copy of that, and it was like, this is now we put it together that he's going to the Comic-Con, and he's so excited. He can't wait. He was like, I'm going to tell my friends. I can't wait to, brag to my friends.
Very nice. That's so sweet. That is super sweet. That's super sweet.
Yeah. So again, it's just another thing to look forward to. So this one, I'm going to be on my own.
Okay.
So I'm going to be feral on my own.
And this is the Boston one also, or a different one?
It's the same one. It's going to be in Boston.
Okay.
But again, this time my husband put his foot down. He was like, we are not going. You are not dragging me to that. And I was like, all right, fine. I will make the sacrifice and go on my own.
I guess if I have to.
Yeah.
If I have to do the thing. Do you feel, was a lot of it too because you just didn't feel super confident doing it on your own the first time? Or did you just kind of want to make it a family thing the first time when everybody came with you to the first creation one?
It was a bit of both because I was driving to New Jersey. I have never driven to New Jersey on my own before. Not that I couldn't figure it out with GPS.
Yeah.
But it was just a whole layer of the unknown that I was like, I didn't want to go by myself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. Totally get that. Yeah. Sometimes you need like a couple practice runs before you feel like, I think I can do it on my own. I think this is a thing I can do, kind of a thing.
This one I'm looking forward to. I don't have to answer to anybody but myself at this point.
I got to ask on a purely because I know you love both brothers pretty equally, but are you a little more on the Dean?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So I just have to ask, the first time you saw Jensen in person, what was your reaction to him physically?
He is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I stood there looking at him, thinking to myself, how is this even possible? How did we get blessed with a man like this?
Yeah, just walking around on those bow legs.
and then you think to yourself, he almost went into physical therapy. We would have missed it all if he hadn't dropped out and become an actor. So thank you, whoever was guiding him that day. But yeah, he is just, and he has those green eyes, and you're like, yeah, they're green. Oh my God, they are green. Mm-hmm. They are a shade of green that I don't even know if it really exists in life, or if whoever created him just made that color green just for him.
I know he's so pretty. My God, I've never would have imagined. I knew he was so much on screen, but then you're like, there's no way it's going to be like that in person. And then it's more. And you're just like, how? Are you vertically challenged like me? Or are you more like on the higher end?
No, I talk a lot of smack for somebody who has to tiptoe in the 5-foot pool side. Yeah. So yeah, I'm vertically challenged. But standing next to him, I was like, holy crap. And then standing next to Jared,
I know.
I need the apple crate, please.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're both so beautiful, but there's for me, there's just something about Jensen that's just like otherworldly. Like you shouldn't exist. Like there's something you do feel very lucky to be around that, even for just like a moment. Yeah.
And then when he smiles, it like, okay, there's the ethereal part of him because it all just comes together and it just kind of clicks. And then you want to say, it's like, oh, he's such an asshole. Maybe that would like even things out, but no, he's not. He's like one of the sweetest people ever.
Yeah, which makes it like, it makes it worse. In some way, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like, but it also, I think, makes, like you said, makes us blessed as a fandom that he isn't an asshole. Like he's genuinely a really good person. And it just comes through, and it's just, you just want to be around it as much as you can, which is obvious because
100.
you've been to a lot of cons, and you're going to another one, which I think is awesome for you. I want to let you go in a little bit, but I just want to ask one more question in terms of like, do you have a word or piece of advice, like for anyone who's maybe thinking about going to, I guess, a supernatural convention in particular, and who's never gone before? Like, what would you tell someone? Like, what would you have wanted to tell yourself that maybe you weren't prepared for?
Take the chance and just be yourself. Don't pretend to be something that you're not. Just go there and be the human being that you are. And also remember to respect them as human beings. Because yes, they're actors, they're getting paid for this, but they're also human beings at the end of the day. And I think a lot of people tend to forget that they're not like a show pony.
Yeah.
They're human beings, and they're affected by things because the first time I met Jared, and it wasn't at the Supernatural Con, it was after a very hard period of our life. Our son had just battled a severe illness to the point of 4 months in a hospital, 4 life-saving surgeries. So I was very thankful that I got to have that experience, because as I walked up to him, and I didn't mean to upset him, but I did in a way, because I stood there rather, talking to him. And I said to him, I know that you've probably heard this 1,000 times, but I wanted to thank you for the show that you and Jensen have created and the characters that you guys have created, because it was a lifeline for me. And I explained the situation with our son, and my son was right there with us.
Right.
And I told him, there were times when I was there in that hospital room by myself. I never left his bedside while he was there so sick. And Sam and Dean in that show were a lifeline for me, because it was a comfort that I could turn on that TV and watch that show with you guys being there. And it gave me the comfort that I needed when nobody else could be there to comfort me.
Right.
Because it was during COVID, and it was during all of these procedures that he was going through. And he, as a parent, I could see it hit him hard. And it was not my intent to do that, but that's ended up what happened.
Yeah.
Because my husband yelled at me. He was like, why did you make him cry? And I was like, that wasn't my intent.
Right.
But he looked at me, and he shook my hand, and he said, thank you for telling me that. And I'm really glad that your son is here and healthy with us. So, they get that when you tell them those stories. And I know the creation's like, don't tell them those stories. Don't upset them.
Yeah.
But I had that opportunity to have that moment with Jared. I haven't with Jensen, because I do respect the creation say on what they want you to do or not do.
Yeah.
And again, they only give you a few minutes. But I had that opportunity with him. And then just this past June, no, actually not June, I'm sorry, August, Jared was at the Boston Fan Expo.
Okay.
And he was there with a lot of the other cast members. And we got to do a cast member photo op with everybody who was there.
Nice.
So it was, it was great. Of course, Jensen wasn't there, which was the one downside, because awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, Mark Shepard was there, DJ was there, Samantha was there.
Okay.
Let's see, Alex was there. A lot of different people were there. So it was great. So I got to have that experience. And then when we went to go in for our I got the experience of having a photo op with Jared and Baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually got to sit in Baby. That was
Nice.
awesome. That was a
Nice.
fantastic experience because it was his car that he brought, the little bro car.
Yeah.
So I got that experience. And then our last photo op was with just Jared. And as I walked in with my family, he pulled me into a hug and he turned around and said, "Mama, you're doing a great job."
Oh.
And that meant so much to me because here I am with my family, my special needs child, navigating this huge expo.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw it, he took a moment to say something to me, and it meant the world to me.
Oh, that is so sweet. I feel like you deserve all of the things with all that you're doing. Oh man.
And I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't looking for that. I never thought it would happen.
Yeah.
But he saw, I don't know what he saw, but whatever he saw when I walked in, he took that moment to pull me into a hug and, and say that to me. And it meant the world to me.
Yeah.
And then, we took our photo and he was like, it's so good to see you again.
Yeah.
And he said that to me because our very first photo op was the Baby photo op.
Uh-huh.
And, he looked at me and he was like, "Oh my God, it's good to see you again."
Oh, nice.
And if people think to themselves, like, do they really remember some of their fans? They do. They remember.
Well, they're going to remember the rock star mama like you. So they're going to remember that. They're going to remember that. Oh, my goodness.
Like I said, my advice to anybody who hasn't gone is definitely take the chance. I know that they're expensive. But if you can seize that opportunity to go, then definitely seize it. You don't have to do all the things.
Right.
You don't have to do all the photo ops. You don't have to do all of the autographs.
Mm-hmm.
Pick and choose what you can and just make the most of it and enjoy it as much as you can, because I'm telling you that you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And again, just remember to treat them the way you would want to be treated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Treat them with respect and kindness, and you're going to get it back tenfold.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe that too. You got to, like, I mean, I know I've always said, like, I understand there's the transaction at the base level of it, and I get that. But I think that, you still have to approach each person as an individual, and the expectation, like, again, your expectation may not be met, and you can't fault what the other person can or cannot give you at the time. Like, there's so many factors involved. Like I've had some really like great, photo ops and others where I felt rushed, and I just know it's like, it becomes the machine. And like, it's like, especially if they get, behind in schedule and different things get pushed. And especially with Jensen. And I think like the stuff that he's gotten involved in, that I think has kind of like gotten him like much more on the, say, like, busier.
Yes.
That, you've really got to give it some grace if you want to get anything out of it that's not, because I mean, I'd be pissed off too if people were asking me to dance, like do the dance monkey dance thing. Like, it's like, after a while, I mean, I think they're very good at it, and I think they take everything in stride, but I think everybody's got their limit. And sometimes you just, you don't want to be that person that gets them at that wrong moment, and but I've never really experienced that with Jensen at all. Like I've never felt that. I guess maybe because I understand, where like I get the reserved part of him. Like it would be a lot for me too, and I know it's a lot for Jared on a different way, but like I said, there's an energy exchange, I think, that's different.
100%. Yeah. I mean, because when I was in New Jersey, the person before me was taking their time, and that's fine. I'm not going to watch their experience.
Yeah.
And then I gave Jensen a moment to regroup because he kind of seemed like he needed that moment.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad exchange at all.
Just a lot. Yeah.
But he just seemed like he needed that moment, and I gave him that moment. And then, I walked up to him, and he, looked up at me, and he smiled, and hi, how are you, and thank you.
Yeah.
And then I was off because, again, and a lot of times they're like, oh, I didn't have a great time. I didn't get to talk to them. It's not necessarily them.
Yeah.
People. It's the people behind the scenes. And people need to realize that too. And even at every other Comic-Con, if you haven't done a Comic-Con, I'm going to tell you it's like that at every Comic-Con. Have a very brief moment in time to have an experience with them. And there are people who stretch it out, and you can see it on the celebrity's face. It's like, oh my God, get me out of here, get me out of this moment. So again, it's
read the room.
Yeah. What you bring to it. And it's not them rushing you. It's not that they don't want to take the time to talk to you. It's honestly that they don't have
it. Yeah, they just don't have it. Yeah.
They have sold out a convention that's just for Supernatural, and have all of these people who have bought either whatever ticket they have, plus add-ons, plus this, plus that, and they have to get through every single person before they get to leave and go home and be themselves.
Yeah.
So again, just remember that in the back of your mind. I think that's a big thing, because I know, like, I've seen people crying, like, oh my God, either I got to meet them or I didn't get to spend the time that I wanted to. It's heartbreaking to see that, because everybody wants to have a great experience and you want them to have a great experience. But if you're crying over the fact that you didn't get to spend the amount of time that you wanted with them, I know it's hard, but unfortunately, that's just the reality. That's the nature of this beast.
I think, realistic expectations going in, or at least measured, is important when you're going for something like that. But
I think if everybody goes in with a happy attitude that you're going to have this experience, you're going to meet them. Whoever thought that you'd get to meet them, go in with that experience, and it's going to be a great time.
Absolutely. All great advice. Thank you so much for sharing all of this with me.
No problem. I'm happy to. Like I said, I have had great con experiences with them, and I just can't say enough about the actors as people. Because even whether they were at Creation or whether they were at another Comic-Con, every time I have had the opportunity to meet somebody, they have been wonderful.
Good.
And I think that speaks to their character as a human being.
Yeah.
They want to be there to meet us. They thrive on the energy that we bring to them.
Yeah.
They thrive on meeting us and having a great experience with us, and they just want that naturally for all of us.
Yeah. That's great. Jen, I'm sending you all of the positive thoughts I can. Is there anything I can, I'm not close, but is there anything you need? Anything I can send you? My gosh.
Just prayers.
We've got special shout outs for some of our Ko-fi members. From our Shotgun Picks the Music tier, we've got Runaway Dreamer, Crowley's Mistress, Sam and Dean 76, Elia, Charlie, and Just Whispering Fantasies. Thank you for picking the tunes in the car. Support like yours keeps our podcast going. Thank you.